Hello and welcome to the Soulful Leader Virtual Global Gathering. My name is Sahar Nafal, founder of the Soulful Leader community. Thank you for joining us. Welcome everyone to our fourth Soulful Leader. This is Sahar Nafal. I'm the founder of the Soulful Leader community. And I want to welcome each and every one of you to our call. I am so grateful that you could make it today. Please take a few minutes to write your name and the city or the country that you're joining us from in the comments as we're waiting for more and more people to join us. Again, I so appreciate you choosing this morning to be here with us. You know, you could have chosen to be anywhere else other than your home. But I know that right now it's a place to be and it's going to be okay. Well, this is a great space for you to be, a platform where you feel safe, a place where you could feel able to share authentically. Whether you are brand new to our Soulful Leader community or a long-time Soulful member, the Soulful Leader platform provides you with resources and tools so you're able to be seen and to be heard and to transform your life as you transform other people's lives in the community. This is a great supportive community and it's a caring community as well. So thank you for your presence. It is a truly gift to you. Right now, these are gifts to you. Every other week, we come together in community and we gather to support each other, to share our wisdom, to celebrate each other. The Soulful Leader Virtual Gatherings, this stage was created during these uncertain times. We started April 2nd, so we could be here together. Whether or not these crazy times make sense to you, to your logical mind that is, I invite you to surrender to what is and to know that right here you are safe and loved for at least the next hour and a half or so. One of my favorite quotes by Hafiz goes like this: "The place where you are at, God circled on a map for you." And each and every one of you, the place where you're at right now, God circled on a map for you. Now, is it possible for people to come from all over the world like this and be able to connect on a soul level? Yes. Is it possible that collectively we could experience each other's loving connection? Yes. This idea of the soulful family is about total strangers from across the world. You're not a stranger to me, but you are a stranger to each other, from different backgrounds, ethnicity, culture, faiths, beliefs, that gather together in community where they feel a sense of belonging. And this is my message to the world. How can we come together and feel a sense of belonging despite of where we are, where we come from, what our beliefs are? And this is what our community is all about, all belonging to one another, just as the universe belongs to all of us. So today's topic is about it's time for the world to hear your message. And obviously that's what we're going to be covering. But before I start, I want to check in, see how everybody is doing and who is on this call. Well, hello for those of you who just joined. I see Sam is here. Ava from Illinois. Hi, Ava. Thank you. This is your first time here. All right. We have Greg is here as well. Thank you for joining us. Latia is here. Vida. Hi, Vida. She's my new friend. I just met her recently. Cindy is here. I see Louise is here. Thank you. Welcome. I'd love in your comments to just share with me where you are right now. I know you're home, but where are you? What town, country, state, city are you tuning in? Welcome, everybody. This is awesome. This is great. So I just mentioned that today's topic is about it's time for the world to hear your message, to hear your voice. As leaders, it's time for us to show up even more. But before I begin, I just want to tell you a little bit briefly about me, my background, and why you should listen to me, right? And what I want to talk to you, not that I have been on hundreds of stages and I have led over 300 live events and that I have positioned myself as an expert, as a community leader for thousands and thousands of people all over the world. or that I have gotten so many awards and have helped and shifted people's lives. But what I really want to share with you today is that what matters to me. And what matters to me is my community, my family. What matters to me is I'm here on earth to create change. If you don't mind muting. What matters to me is that I'm here on earth to create a shift and change, especially now. What matters to me is to be the leader and the example for each and every one of you. What matters to me right now is to be able to expand my love, my heart, not just to my immediate family, of course, to myself first, my immediate family, to my city, my town, my state, country, to the world, to the universe, to the galaxies. That's what really matters to me today. What matters to me is the deep friendships that I've created throughout my life. What matters to me is for me to be able to show up and be able of serving you today. That's really what matters. And that's who I am, and that's how I want to show up. That's how I want to be seen. And there's going to be a question that's going to be asked of you. And it's similar to this. But I want you right now to contemplate and figure out what is the answer, because I'm going to call on you to ask that question for those who are called to answer that question. And it's about what role, how are you showing up as a leader right now? What are you doing to show up as a leader? So as I continue welcoming everybody else, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. 2008, I went from the dark side to the bright side. The first platform I've ever had was called The Bright Side of Life. It started in my family room with about 6 women. And within a year and a half, we exploded to have had over 300 people at the Marriott Hotel that came to our events. And we had big name speakers like Dr. John Gray and Lisa Nichols and many others who have entered this stage of the bright side of life. But once I felt like it's time for me to let go of the bright side of life, and I've embodied the bright side of life, I was no longer in the dark side of life. I was guided to call my new platform the Soulful Leader. And that's what really I'm stepping into as a soulful leader, to able to support you as you step into your soulful leadership. So that's a little bit about me. And what I want to do today is just to begin with you sharing a little bit or answer the questions that I have that is to do with the topic that we have. Let's see here. So, well, let me go over a little bit about, okay. Here's one thing I want to share with you quickly before we move into the questions, because the truth is right now, for those of you or those of us who chose to be here during this time to help raise the collective consciousness, we're going to participate in any way that we can. And a lot is going to be expected from us right now. And it's to help humanity awaken to the truth of who they are. You know, that's why it is relevant at this time for your message to be heard in the world. Your purpose right now is to be able to serve through sharing your message, to elevate humanity, to create shifts and change in yourself as well as others. So today's agenda is, my intention is for our Soulful family gathering today is to first create an experience where everybody feels a sense to be seen, to be loved, to choose to be heard. I hope that you choose to be heard today. And we have 5 courageous leaders and messengers with us today who I have asked to share their unique message with you. Some who are stepped up to be able to share their voices today. Some are going to be reading poetry. Some are going to be sharing some sound and healing. Some are going to be sharing their brilliance of communication skills and many other surprises. In addition, for the next few Soulful gatherings, I'll be sharing my understanding of what leadership is in the context of leadership in general, possibly in our space of the personal growth space. I'll be sharing the tools and techniques for our soulful leaders who are ready to be heard and to be seen right now. Also tools on how to effectively express your gift into the world. This is what we're going to be doing in the next few, we meet every other week. We have 2 of them that are coming up in June. Of course, we have the 28th of May, hopefully you're already registered. And then we have 2 more coming up in June. Well, first, let's do our share of wisdom segment. So we're going to be asking the question that is relevant to today's topic of showing up and sharing your message. And if you are called to answer, please raise your hand, and we'll ask you to share for 1 minute this specific questions, right? And I have my wonderful team here to help me mute and unmute you. So thank you so much, Christina, for coming and joining us today. So housekeeping, please, if you have just joined, make sure that you're on mute. And we would love to see your face. Again, if you're not ready to be seen right now, I honor the space you're in as well. And do participate in the chat, because I read them and my team reads them. We want to make sure that you are fully supported in any way possible. And we want to see you and hear you and know who you are. I was inspired by this book, Dare to Lead, by Brene Brown. She talks very accurately to what leadership is. And I'm going to read this statement, and then I'm going to dive into the question. Part of the book, what she says is leadership is about character. It's about being comfortable with your own emotions and leading others to be comfortable with theirs. It's about holding yourself accountable and allowing others to offer you feedback that may be challenging to hear so you can change. It's about excavating any trace of resentment that may prevent you from living from a place of love and compassion towards others, even those who may press your buttons or trigger you. It's about transparency and integrity, and never about leading without consideration of the impact of your actions. It's about being very clear with communication and very clear with what you want. And I'm going to add to this. It's also about showing up for your community each day, every day, whether you feel it or when you don't feel like it. So this quote really inspired me, and now I'm ready to ask you the question. As a soulful leader, how are you showing up for your tribe, your community, your clients, even your family, even people that you love? During this time, how are you showing up? And I'm going to give you an example. You could be showing up by doing virtual calls like these. It could be showing up by picking the phone and calling and checking in on people. It could be you supporting your clients even go deeper right now. It could be just you working on yourself in order for you to evolve and grow. These are the things that leaders are doing right now. And it could be anything else. And you know what? Right now, the way I'm doing this is I'm giving back, doing these virtual calls. I'm doing the best that I can to make sure that the Soulful Leader community through our Facebook group, to be seen and to be heard in their businesses, because I know it's tough times right now. And I want to do the best that I can with whatever platform that I have in order for me to support you. And it could be that you're asking for support and guidance. And that's what I'm doing as well. Being okay to ask and be vulnerable to ask for help and guidance as you grow or grow your community or whatever space that you're in right now. And be okay with being supported. That's a big one too for us. Not only do you support, because as empaths, I know many of you and coaches and healers, you're giving and giving and giving. Be okay to receiving support right now. And of course, just surrendering to what is. And mostly I want you to also think about ways in which, and we'll talk deeply, are you contributing to those who are supporting you by supporting them, share their platforms as well. We'll dive deeper into that when I begin my talk. So let's go ahead and open the lines for those of you who are called to come in. I just want to see who else is here. I know we have people from Dubai here. Welcome. Switzerland, California, Chicago, Illinois. Welcome, 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 everybody. Of course, California, Sedona, Arizona, Ecuador. Hi, welcome, welcome. I know Germany is here as well. This is awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, we have somebody. Katie, I love you, Katie, for being a courageous soul and being the first one. Go for it.
Well, the way that I am supporting my community is prior to COVID, what I do is I teach mindfulness and brain science to middle schoolers. And so what I've been doing is I've been going on to their Zoom calls and doing little mindfulness meditations with them. I've also had a lot of past clients connecting with me who aren't able to sign back up because of financial constraints, but I've been continuing to support them and be there for them. And it feels really good. And it just fuels me and it feels good to connect with them and see where they're at and see how things have changed since we worked together and be able to continue to support them without the limitations. And then showing up on amazing calls like this and meeting wonderful people, like expanding the community during this time has been really wonderful. So thank you, Sahar.
Thank you for all the work you do, dear Soulful Leader. Thank you. Who else would like to share? I know many of you want to be seen. All right, let's go with Auntie and then we'll go with Danny. Thank you, Danny, for being here. So go ahead on Artie. Why don't you tell us your name and where you're calling from? I'm sorry, we have to unmute you. Here we go. Go ahead, Artie.
Hi, Sahar.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you for doing all these wonderful Zoom calls. It's amazing. And it takes courage for me to speak on a camera because I'm not that confident in, in showing myself on camera. I can be in a group, but, so I kind of, with some fear, raised my hand, but it is about showing up. So here I am. I show up for my family. That's the first thing that I like to do. And my kids, by leading by example, instead of, giving into the fear, I just try to infuse positivity here and there in the family. That's the first place I start. And I agree with, I think, Katie. I used to teach mindfulness in school, but that was gone. So I just kind of sent some videos to the teachers for them to share with the kids. That is one part. And I teach yoga to my community, but definitely half of them could not sign up. So I am actually giving them coaching. I'm coaching them and doing 7-day challenges in different parts of their lives to bring them up.
Thank you.
With habits and how to create more love and connection. So that's
beautiful.
My little part that I'm.
So thank you. I want to acknowledge you and tell you that I'm so happy that you're showing up. So thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you for finding the courage.
I am from San Ramon, and I have attended one of your
events.
Right. Yes. And
okay.
Then after that, you moved to Chicago.
Yes. Well, I remember you. Thank you, Artie.
Thank you so much.
All right, and we have Danielle, right, from Chicago. How are you, my friend?
Great, good to be here, Sahar. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm grateful to be here with the Soulful community. And I wanted to share that one of the things that came up for me was I was guided to hold a retreat at Sedona, and I went there earlier this month. And I only had one client that was willing to get on a plane and go on this retreat because of this situation going on. And it felt so good to go there and to show up for my tribe through live stream and to bring all that amazing energy there during that time and just to anchor the shift that's going on, to take a stand, not to be afraid and be that example, and to bring the channeling and all the things I do, bringing the wisdom and the energy of Sedona to inspire and bring people that love and inspiration, with what's going on, and knowing that, there's something very amazing happening right now, and to celebrate that. So that's a part of what I've been up to.
Well, thank you for your courage to making it happen, even if it was just one client. That takes a lot of courage. I appreciate you, Danielle. Speaking of Sedona, I believe Vishali is here, so we need to connect you both.
That'd be great. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
She does tours there, and she's an incredible healer as well. Wonderful. All right, who's ready to show up and answer the question? Raise your hand. All right, let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead, Shira.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm in Sedona too. So
you are, that's right. Here we go.
Greetings from Sedona. It's been I've been here just not quite a year and a half, with some very specific intentions, which are starting to emerge. So very grateful that you invited me, Sahar, and it's wonderful to reconnect with you after, yeah, I was around at the very beginnings of Sahar's vision, when she was just planting the seeds to birth this now global community. So how I'm showing up, couple different ways. I'm helping people pivot their content online. I'm just finished my master's degree, or I'm finishing this week my master's degree in e-learning, online learning. So I'm pretty relevant in with what's needed in that domain. So I'm having one-to-one sessions with thought leaders about delivering their content or events online. I've also started a weekly group for people, business owners, and just individuals. You don't have to be a business owner, to just share their experience of what's emerging for them during this time on a personal level, and what new inspirations have they had? Are there new commitments or declarations that they're making? Is there fear or grief or sadness that they like to share? So it's a supportive container, but it's also a heart storm for resiliency solutions. And that's every Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time. And then the last thing I've done, what's that?
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank
Okay.
you. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Next, we have, who else would like to share? I'm moving, we have a couple of pages. All right. Do I have, is it Latia? Latia, go ahead and unmute yourself and share. And please tell us where you're calling from, where you're tuning in from. Or Katie, I'm sorry, I apologize. My eyes are not as good anymore. Katie, go ahead, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm Chicago. I see a few other people are in Chicago, and hi, Eva. I know she's out there. I know her. So it's been interesting. I'm working a lot on myself. I started working with a new mentor, and just like helping me get more in my heart space, less out of the ego. And that's been amazing. And it's amazing what our mind tells us. But I also practice Reiki, and I've shifted my business onto virtual distant healing. And so the parts of my giving has been, I've been connecting with first frontline work COVID people all over the US, and giving free Reiki to those who are dealing with it directly, just to help alleviate stress and some of whatever they're going through. That's been really cool. I've been able to go from California to Maine, so that's been really fun to travel from my house. And I also started a website in Chicago to support my local small businesses in Chicago. And it's a platform where anyone can go to find any type of business. It's got links to all their websites, and I started a Facebook group to go with it as well. And yeah, I've been sitting still a lot, and just, I mean, I've been doing a lot, but like sitting still a lot too, a lot more than I was prior to all of this. And really like focusing on what's important to me, and like not trying to be doing too much, you know.
Perfect. Like, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's perfect. And you know, she's just a perfect example. We're doing the inner work, you know. Later I'm going to be talking a little bit about it. What are we doing in order for us to really step into our own work? And again, the question for those of you who have just joined us, oh, you guys are so beautiful. I love you all for showing up today. You have no idea how proud of each and every one of you for showing up today. It's about how are you showing up as a leader? How are you contributing to others using your gifts? How are you showing up as a leader? So thank you so much, Katie, for sharing. And I saw, I think, was it Jackie? Here you are. Oh, I'm sorry, Eva. Eva, go ahead and mute yourself. How are you? Thank you for joining.
Listen, thank you so much for the invite. I truly appreciate it. Yay! And I made it. Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you
sweetheart.
so much.
Love seeing
And
you.
I am from Chicago. There's folks on here from Chicago. So you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. A couple of things that I'm doing. I have my own Facebook group that I go in on Sunday mornings with the ladies and I do an inspirational message. But I'm also doing a virtual book club from the book Inspirations for the Soul that I authored. And what I like about it, there are inspiring messages with powerful questions, and the women are really getting into the powerful questions because this is a time based on this new norm to reevaluate and to really think about what's most important. So I've been doing that, but something you just triggered, and I've been really thinking about this, I've been wanting to do a play, write a play, and it's really about scars, emotional and physical scars. So, and that's been in my spirit. So I've been kind of nurturing that. And you just kind of like, just listening to some of the other folks on here today, I feel like, okay, now is a good time for me to just sit down and really try to do it.
I love that. So is this a one-woman type of a show?
I'm sorry?
Is it like a one-woman type of a show?
Yeah, a one-woman show with the little girl. It's like that little inner girl that never leaves.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm working,
my gosh.
In my mind, I just have to sit down and start putting it together. So
okay, well, make sure you invite me. I'll fly to Chicago.
All right. Thanks for the platform, though. I appreciate it.
Thank you. For those of you who are curious why I have such a great tribe from Chicago, because I lived there for 2.5 years, and not until the 3rd of March of this year I came back home. So that's why we have our wonderful tribe that are following us from Chicago, and a lot of people from California, and of course my global community as well. Wonderful. We could have for 3 or 4 more people. Who else who has not yet shared in the past? Oh, I see Dixie is here. Dixie, are you raising your hand? Let's go. From Canada, go for it. Unmute.
Hi, Sahar. So
Hi,
nice to
sweetie.
see everyone. Some familiar faces there. Hi, Maha. I have actually, well, since I've been off, I had a physical business, so I lost about 80% of my business. So I had to pivot pretty quickly, as I'm sure many of you had, to so I started a Facebook group that has been super amazing, called Inspired Women Gathering, and then I started a podcast also with Inspired Women Gathering. So I've been reaching out, reconnecting. Sahar, we've had some conversations as well. An opportunity to reconnect with past clients, people I haven't spoke to in a while. So having lots and lots and lots of amazing, my days have been filled with just inspiring conversations with people, stepping up as into the leader instead of leading from behind, definitely starting to lead more from the forefront. So that's been getting me out of the comfort zone because I like to lead from behind. And it's been really empowering, the engagement. People are eager to share and eager to come forward. And I love the questions. I love what everyone has been sharing in here as well. Just exciting. I think it's a really exciting opportunity to emerge. I love that word, as we're emerging into this new world differently, and it is an opportunity to deepen the conversations and connections. So.
And I want to share that showing up as a leader is also sharing activities of other leaders as well. And so I'm going to do it right now. I've had the honors to be invited to to be interviewed in your summit. And so do you have the date in which I will be? I know we're going to be doing it next week, but do you have the date in which it will be showcased?
I'm not off the top of my head.
Okay, but we'll go ahead. We'll go. Are you looking for other speakers?
I'm always looking for inspiring women to
Perfect.
be interviewed. So if you'd love to have a conversation, hi CJ. Yeah, I'd love.
Is there an email? Let's go ahead and connect you to them. Is there an email?
Sure.
Okay, we'll make sure to put it in the comments.
I'll drop it in the comments.
Okay, perfect. And later we'll maybe reconnect you for those of you who are interested to be interviewed. These are the opportunities we need to say yes to. Okay, they're showing up for you, everyone. All right, maybe for one more person, then we'll dive in. I know CJ wants to talk, but let me see if there's anybody else that I have not seen who said, anybody else that want to raise their hand that has not shared in the past that wants to say and share how they want to show up? All right, CJ, the floor is yours. You have 1 minute. Go ahead and unmute. Welcome. Go ahead.
Hi, everyone. I'm all about empowering you to resolve resentment and forgive. So to that end, what I've done is I do a Facebook Live every Monday and Thursday at 12:45 Pacific and talk about ways to deal with arguments and resentments that may be building during the stay-at-home phase we were in, and how to bring peace home.
I love
and
that.
I also developed a free call, Pivot to Peace, and I have a 7-week program that I'm launching.
I love it.
Zoom program.
I love that.
Bringing peace home, resolving resentment, and forgiving.
Oh, sounds so beautiful. Bringing peace home. And we have two courageous ladies that will be speaking in just a little bit. I'll be talking to you all the way from Switzerland that similarly are going to share. I love that. Bring peace home. I love the work that you're doing, Cija. I've been a big fan of yours, and I so appreciate and honor you doing the work that you do.
Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Right on. So you know what? I'm just called. So one of the things I want to share with you, like we do have an agenda more or less, and I know we're going to be here for about an hour and a half. And one of the things that I have been literally leaning into is to allowing things to unfold organically. If I have a calling to do something that is out of the quote unquote agenda that I was told by me to do, I just do it. So I feel in what would be best to serve my community. That's how one way I show up as a leader. So after what I heard from CJ is bringing peace home, I'm called to call onto and invite one of our first speakers or presenters or gift giver or messenger, Sahar, to share a beautiful poem. And that would be so incredible for us to begin to dive into this topic today. And he's going to be read a poem, but I want to tell you something about Sahar. And the way I want to invite or share a little bit about the people that I know, it's not going to be about positioning them as the expert in their field, because they all are. I just really want to share from my heart what they have done to my heart and how they have impacted me, or they have influenced me, or what I know to be true about them based on my experience. So that's how I want to introduce them, because often we get caught up in the noise rather than of what they do, rather than really get to know their heart. So I have reconnected to Sahar. Yes, another person with my name, except he's a male, all right? And we've known each other for a while, but just brief connected about
2 weeks.
3 weeks, but hold on a second. We first connected about 8 years ago, Sahar. Remember I reached out to you for something?
Yes.
Then we lost track. I think I unfriended you. Why? I don't know. Maybe I was jealous that you had my name too. And we just 3 weeks ago reconnected, and on a soul level, like he is like my soul brother. That's what I call him. And his heart is so big, and the work he's doing in the world is so phenomenal. So what would you like to tell people right now? And then I want you to dive into and read the beautiful poem and tell us a little bit about the poem. The stage is yours, Sahar.
I just look across at everybody here. So much gratitude to be sitting in this circle. And I just want to ask everybody to take in a deep breath. And take in another deep breath and fill your abdomen with air. And breathe in the life force that is here right now. And let yourself sink into you. Into the incredible knowing that we are coming together as one people, as one family, recognizing who we are, sisters, brothers, with the whole planet. And as you're breathing deeply, and I encourage you just to continue breathing into you, down into your belly. That I want to share with you something that I have read over the years. And each time I read it, it is more relevant. It comes from the Hopis. I invite you to close your eyes and really breathe this in. You have been telling the people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know your garden. It is time to speak your truth, to be good to each other, and to not look outside yourself for the leader. He clasped his hands together and smiled and said, "This could be a good time." Breathe that in. This could be a good time. And it continues, there is a river flowing very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know that this river has its destination. The elders say we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep our eyes open and our heads above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we do now must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been looking for. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Just breathe that in. Breathe in the truth of that. And what an incredible gift. Here we are sitting together, recognizing, expressing the amazing, abundant gifts. And that we have someone like Sahar who's inviting us all to share our gifts. I'm just very glad that this is happening. So thank you for this moment, Sahar.
Thank you so much, Sahar. This couldn't be a more perfect, divine beginning. I mean, I so appreciate you and honor our friendship. Thank you for the gift that you just shared with us. Thank you, Sahar. And once we are complete today, we're going to be sending an email with the names of the contact information for everyone who participated here today. So I honor you again, Sahar, for showing up and sharing your gift. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. So let us dive into our topic today. I already feel the calmness inside of me. Thank you. This was so needed. So it's time for your message to be heard. So on our last virtual gathering, if you were there or not, on April 30th, I shared about Interestingly enough, during these tough crises, there may be leaders who are playing it safe, not wanting to be seen or heard. And I understand that some leaders don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to show the truth of who they are and the space that they're in. And we need to honor everybody. As a leader, you need to honor everybody. Everyone has their own timing, their own process, right? And there's no judgment to that. But today, my message is for those of you who have compelling messages to share. Those of you who have a gift that must be shared with the world. And I've already heard some of you. I already know some of you. You've made a conscious decision right now, a choice to be here on this planet right now. Those of you who are wanting to create change with healing and transforming yourselves, again, and elevating and healing the collective, the atmosphere, with your gift, with your voice. I believe you are here this morning because perhaps you are ready to be more visible in order to support your community as a leader, or a community doesn't have to be specifically just like this community. It could be a community in your home. It could be, you could be an executive. You could be somebody at work. You could be leading a team, leading a company, a corporation. It's about you showing up as a leader. And today you'll be hearing from few soulful leaders that you've heard from Sahar as well, right? Who are ready to show up and lead. I'll be introducing them throughout our time together. So being visible is the first step. And there are so many ways in which you need to show up, right, as a leader. And today we're diving a little bit into how you want to show up, perhaps from the inner perspective. I love when Sahar read look for the leader inside of you. This is actually the first step before you actually physically are visible. Look for the leader inside of you, right? This is what it's all about. So I want to share a story with you. I love sharing stories. I consider myself a storyteller. I was, just like many of you, I'm all about continuing to do being on the path of personal growth. And I signed up for the program called the Deep Dive into Your Genius. I know some of you are into the Gene Keys. For those of you who are not, I highly recommend you look into it. I don't have a lot of time to tell you more about the platform of the Gene Keys or the work of the Gene Keys by Richard Rudd. And again, we'll write it in the comments and I'll share more on our Soulful Leader community Facebook group. It's a 4-month virtual. It's a live series that invited us to voyage of self-illumination to unlock the hidden potential of our genius, right? This was the program was all about. And I believe it started in January and it just recently ended. So I was on the call and I was so excited because, it's not often you find Richard Rudd doing these live events with everybody. And I just jumped right on it. And I believe Kate, who's on here, was with me as well and others as well. So I decided during the time towards the end, I was really moved by everything he was sharing and it was so profound. And towards the end, they opened the space for Q&A and I was called to ask a question. And I knew somehow, some way, him and I connected in the beginning because he recognized that I came from California and I felt that energetic connection, right? And so I decided to put myself out there as a leader and ask a question. And I began to write my question for me personally about my gene keys, right? And then all of a sudden I get a message right away. It's like, no, make this for the collective. And I deleted the question and I began to type the question that is so relevant to today's topic. And the question was, how us leaders need to show up in order for us to serve our communities. How do we need to show up during these times right now? And I wrote it and I sent it. And then he continued to have conversations, sharing with us. Other people got on and we're talking. And I said, okay, I'm just set the intention. And before I knew it, there was a pause. And he said, oh, wow, there's a really good question here. And I felt it in my bones that it was the question that I put forth because it was for the collective. One way of serving, always think of everybody else as well, right? And he answered the question for me. And so with that, I am going to share the question directly from Richard Rudd. The question that I asked is, how do we need to show up as leaders? So he goes like this: we are contemplators. And if we are not, we are learning to be that. We are creating space so that action would take place inside here, right? Inside of us, in this realm. In the times that are coming, it's going to be back to the timing of intuition. For each leader, really where there's clarity emerges. The core stability within you in which your clarity emerges. So what does he mean by core stability? And I asked somebody, and I don't know if they even joined us. I said, so tell me a little bit more about core stability in the group. And this wonderful man answered me, and I'm going to share with you. What is core stability? Core stability as it relates to being rooted within your physical body and beginning to respond to life rather than reacting to it. It is also related to our prime gifts so that you can see how the core stability might manifest outwardly, not reacting to fear or your shadow patterns. Our true purpose allows us to move into our gifts and higher purpose, which allows us to be anchored in the world. Here are the questions that he asked our leaders to ask. Here are the questions, and please write these down. And I'm going to make sure one of my team members write them down in the comments, please. Right? And I want you to compliment on these powerful questions to ask yourself as a leader. Number one, am I in the right place? Am I in the right environment? Where do I need to be? Am I in the right place inside me? Am I in the gift frequency? Are you aligned with your gift? Are you aligned with your gift? This is the work of the Gene Keys. I'm not here to share what the Gene Key is about, but I do encourage you to go to genekeys.com and do your profile online and begin diving deep into your gifts and shadows and learning more about them. That's what he offers. And then he moves on by saying, and if you are not in the shadow, are you okay with being in your shadow? Are you okay when it comes up? How do you be in the shadow and be okay to trust it when it comes up, to allow it to pass through you, to kind of strengthen you in your core stability? And that is what every leaders need to find in them, to deepen the core of stability, to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. I'm going to repeat that. You need to be vulnerable and strong at the same time. And that's what he said the new leadership is all about. This is what it's all about, is to show up in the fullness of who you are, your vulnerability, your authenticity, and at the same time to be strong. I mentioned earlier, there are some leaders that choose not to show up, and that's okay. We don't want to judge them. But the true leader is to show up being vulnerable and sharing from their heart exactly the space that they're at. Earlier, when we heard about the COVID, what happened is I did go into a whirlwind for 48 hours, and I didn't just hide. I went and I created a Facebook Live, and I actually shared. I've written on the Facebook group, and I've also showed up, and I've shared my vulnerability of what is happening and what is going on here. And I invite each and every one of you to look at the space of you being vulnerable and being okay of sharing that with your community, the real raw of who you are based on what shadows are coming up for you right now. And as leader, this is what it's all about, being okay with being in our shadows. So I want to share another story. I had a conversation with a colleague of mine who I invited for her to come and be part of it. And she responded by saying, I don't feel successful right now. She said, I don't feel successful right now, and I don't want to show to pretend that I am. And I paused there and I had a conversation with her and I said, what are you talking about? It's not about you showing up because you're no longer, quote unquote, feeling successful. It's about you showing up and being of service and being vulnerable to the place that you're at right now. The space we're at right now, the place we're at right now, God circled on a map for us. We all chosen to be here right now in order for us to step it up, to be seen and to be heard and to share our voices and our messages, leaders. It is not for us to hide. You have not signed up for this to be able to want to show up to be that perfect person that you were. We all are going through the same exact thing together. And if we're not going to show up right now in our own vulnerability, we might as well not show up at all. This is the time for us to show up. How do you show up as a leader? How do you show up as a leader? I've asked some of you and you're all doing such amazing things, but I want to add on to this even more. Even more. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. In from your nose. Relax. Before I dive in, I want to go ahead and invite two leaders that are showing up right now to participate. It's a mother and daughter team. Beautiful two women that I've had the honors to have served 2 years as their coach to help them with the platform that they're creating in order for them to create change. So Martha and Alexandra, all the way from Switzerland, they're going to be sharing a very profound message with you. So let's go ahead and unmute you and go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, everyone. And Sahar, first of all, we are so grateful to be here. And after these 2 years that you are guiding us and to be here today and show up and tell our story, it's a privilege for us. So we are Marta and Alexandra, originally from Colombia and living in Switzerland today. And as mother and daughter in life and business, we have a clear mission, which is really to transform the lives of thousands of women all around the globe by helping and guiding them to connect with their essence and have better communication with each other as mother and daughter. Why? Because we expect and we help them to experience a meaningful, lasting bond. And as a daughter, I had an emotionally absent mother during my childhood and teenage years. And later, with 35, I had a really difficult time in my life. My father passed away and I was going through the divorce. And my mother decided to turn her back on me completely. Hard experience for me. It was not easy, but at that moment I was really clear that I needed to break the family paradigm of the authoritarian mother with really high expectations from us and very little appreciation and love. This past, I can only be thankful for that because I learned a lot. I was able to release my pain and forgive myself. And most important, I took this decision to go differently with Alexandra. And trust, respect, and love has been the foundation of our relationship. Thank you.
So, as a daughter myself, I can say I've been lucky to have been raised by a conscious mother I know nobody has the privilege, or not a lot of people have that privilege. And it's actually because since the time I actually came into this world, she has really not stopped to grow and evolve herself. So that is something that I honor her for, that she has really decided to do it differently with me, for being her most imperfectly perfect self, because I don't want to brag about her. She's not the perfect mother. We don't have the perfect relationship, but we have worked for it. And that's why today we have a healthy and meaningful relationship that has helped us to learn through the ups and downs of it. As I said before, we have worked for it. And most importantly, we have nurtured it at every step of the journey. So this is why today we decided to show up. Thank you, Sahar, again for giving us this opportunity. And our message to you today is really to be present and honor each other's presence as mother and daughter, or as wife, as husband, as partner, as friend, whatever you are to whoever you are special to. Be present and honor each other's present. We believe that this lockdown has made us confront moments of frustration, of despair, showing us actually how impatient we are as human beings, because we are constantly getting annoyed and easily annoyed by each other just by being home together, because we are somehow stuck at home together, right? Yes. And we don't seem to have somehow the space for ourselves, and then we shut out in ourselves, right? So we decide to go within, which is good, but depends how, right? And that's why we want to ask you, how beautiful would it actually be to have the opportunity to be listened to when we all, at this very difficult time, need to be heard the most, right?
Beautiful.
So when you get out of this call, we invite you to get your family together, to sit down for 10, 15, 20 minutes, as long as you need, and ask each other to express how you're feeling right now. Because practicing compassionate listening, it's key. And to do that, you really need to be present with one another. Just take 3 minutes to listen to the other person, share what they need to share. And even better, our message is really to make it a daily practice in your life. Because the mere act of being able to express whatever is inside of you can be really healing. And this is what we are doing with mothers and daughters worldwide.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, ladies, for showing up. Thank you for sharing this beautiful message. And it is about to be present for one another during this time. I love that. Great, great, great tip. Thank you. Love you both. Appreciate you. All right.
Love you too.
Thank you. This is awesome. We have 2 more people that will be sharing as well, but let's go ahead and dive into a little bit about, let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments. Thank you so much. Vita saying you are brilliant, as so as a community. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Imperfect, perfect self. I love that. Thank you for sharing, Janan. Love that idea. Get your family together, Tracy. Yes. And have a conversation of listening. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And Tracy, I so appreciate you showing up and sharing all the questions that we put forth. Excellent, excellent. All right, let's go ahead and move forward with our call today. We have half a more hour to go. And just as promised, I want to share some tools with you in regards to how you need to show up as a leader. Whether you are here live or listening to the replay, again, I want to thank you for being here. So number 1, and go ahead and write this down, is to participate. Number 1 is to participate as a leader. Obviously, it is for you to post on, I'm just going to use the Soulful Leader platform that we have for thousands of people. I believe we're almost at 3,200 people, which is awesome. you know, use your gift and post it and share it. You know, we do something called What's Your Soulful Business Wednesday. Take the opportunity to share. That's all available to you. That's one way to participate. You know, make comments, participate by commenting on others as they are sharing. You know, joining virtual calls like this one, participate with shared wisdom segments as we're asking. Some of you have participated and said yes to the opportunity, whether it is here or somewhere else. One of our Soulful Messengers, or be part of, participate in the Soulful Messengers, like I'm inviting people to come and share their wisdom and their brilliance that is relevant to what's happening right now, today. I also invite you to become seen by sharing your story. I'll be creating another platform where we'll have you share your stories of inspiration and empowerment as well. Reach out to others who are doing things of this sort and ask if there's an opportunity for you to share your wisdom with them, right? So participate by showing up. Participate by showing up and being part of, you know, an environment in which that is relatable to you. Remember, one of the things that Richard had asked us to ask ourselves is that environment. Is it the right environment? And is it a right environment in which I can and will share my message? Okay. And then number 2 is become clear about your message. Number 2 is become clear about your message. This may be number 1, but we'll just go with the flow right now. Do you have your signature talk? Do you have your signature story? Is it aligned with your story, your life experiences? Does it fire you up? One of the words that I've learned from my friend Sahar is aliveness. Does it bring aliveness to you? Is it unique to who you are? Is it unique to who you are? Do people know you for it? When they hear the specific word or phrase, they know that you're the expert at it. Are you a master at it? And if you're not, are you working to become a master at this topic? Are you doing all the research? Are you reading? Are you hiring others to help you become the master? What are the things that you are doing right now in order for you to have much clearer messages? Are you reaching out that could support you to help you get clear about your message and position you as the expert in something specific? And many of us could be experts at one thing or another, but it's only you with your uniqueness and who you are. Will this message be delivered in a very unique way? I consider myself a community leader. I bring people together and I connect them and I support them in being seen and being heard and creating platforms. That's what I'm known for. Are there others doing the same thing? Absolutely. And we love all of those people. But what's so unique is I am me. It's Sahar right here. Sahar Nafal. That is bringing that to you. It is everything that I am, my background, my culture. Be proud of that too. Your heritage, where you come from when you show up. My accent, right? All of that. The way I'm designed, it is what makes me unique. It's not necessarily the message, it's the delivery of the message in which it also emerges, right? Within your heart. Are you sharing it because you know this is what you are called to share? There's a knowing. There's an inner knowing. I've recently had my astrology read, and my beautiful Natalia, astrologist, and much more. She's an amazing, incredible individual. Some of you may have met her before. She said that based on my charts, like I'm a leader first, like it's a knowing, and then the other one is the spiritual teacher. But number 1 is like, I am a leader. This is what I was born. It's in my DNA. And no matter what, I'm going to have to lead. You know, usually I do live events. But the leader within me said, nope, you can't do live events right now, but you could do virtual. And it's been a work in progress. But at the same time, it's a knowing. And so I need you to ask yourself right now, like, am I clear about the message? Is it incongruency of who I am and the way I show up in the world? I have been doing a lot of interviews and asking people to share a message. If it's not aligned with who they are, just instantly know. And I'm not judging. there's still some work that needs to be done. So don't take it personally if I say, let's just percolate a little bit longer. So this is number 2, is become clear about your message. Make sure your message is aligned with you as a leader. And speaking of alignment, I have another beautiful person that's going to be sharing with us today. And her name is Katrina, and she is all the way from Dubai. She is staying late today to be with us to share a gift with us. And then I'll dive into the other 2. So Katrina, are you available and are you able to share, sweetheart?
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about what you'll be sharing today.
Oh, hang on, I've just lost you.
Hi
everyone. Hello, hi. Hi from Dubai, halfway across the world. So thank you, Sahar, for having me. I'm very grateful to be here, and I thank you so much because you actually put me on the next part of my journey within my career.
Oh, I've had the honor of working with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I am an anti-aging wellness expert, and I look at the whole mind, body, spirit of a person. So I work within the beauty field doing facials and hands-on therapy, and I've recently moved over into more online work. But 2 of the tools that I use are color and salts to clear the energy field. So I'd like to talk about that today.
Beautiful.
So, you know, we live in color. Color is everywhere, and we just take it so much for granted. But each color has a meaning, and they have they make us feel a certain way. So while we're at home and not doing very much, we're not really getting dressed up, we're not, you know, we're in our pajamas or our workout clothes, which make you feel a little bit more relaxed. Something to do is to put on one of your favorite colors. So I would like to go through 4 colors today and tell you what they mean. So the first one is red. And red is an energy color. It's related to the base chakra. And red is very good to wear when you're feeling tired because it really helps you. It helps you energize yourself. Where did it go? I've lost it. Yeah. So this is the energy color. So, you know, you can wear it. You can throw a scarf around you. You can wear it in a t-shirt, a top. Paint one of the walls in the home red, which is very vibrant. Then we've got pink, and pink is the heart center. Pink is the softness and the gentleness. So we tend to move towards pink when we want love, and it's a very nurturing color. The next one is blue, and a lot of men wear blue. And blue, of course, is the throat center, and it's about communication. So blue is a good color if you want peace and tranquility. The sea is blue. We always want to go to the beach and see the turquoise sea because what does it do? It makes you feel very calm and relaxed. And then there's white. And white is the color of purity and clarity and regeneration. And people always want to wear white when they want to just get rid of all the negative energy around them and feel pure and clean. So that's a few things about what color can do for you. And then one of my go-to things to really clean your energy very quickly if you're feeling tired or down or a bit lethargic is have a bath in either salt, Epsom salts, or bicarbonate of soda. Now you can find most of these in your kitchen cupboard. So the first one is the bicarbonate of soda. And what this does is it cleans your energy field of negativity. So you would put maybe 1 or 2 of these in the bath and lie in the bath for 20 minutes and then let the water run out before you get out of the bath. And this immediately shifts your energy and releases your auric field of any buildup that you've acquired throughout the day. The second one is a Himalayan body scrub. Now, Himalayan salt is of the highest vibration on the planet, and salt disintegrates negative energy. So it's really good if you shower and then scrub your body with salt. It not only energizes you, but it smooths the skin and it moisturizes at the same time, because it's usually an oil base. And then the last one is Epsom salts. And Epsom salts, most of us have this in the cupboard, or you can buy it in the supermarket. And Epsom salts detoxifies. So it's a little bit different from cleaning the energy. This detoxifies the system, and it's usually got magnesium in it, and magnesium really relaxes the body. It's very good before you sleep, and it's good for any bloatedness or premenstrual tension in women. So these are my go-to tips for clearing your energy, giving you instant shift and feeling happier and more alive.
Oh, that was so beautiful and so perfect. Thank you so much. I've had the honors to work with Katrina for about 6 months or so. And I want to tell you something. There's something about, talk about alignment, right? We talked about the embodiment of your message, and you so embody that. And ever since we started working together, I've always recognized in you who you are and the way you show up and your elegance. Everything is beauty, and that's what you embody, the beauty of us being beautiful from the inside out. So thank you, dear Katrina, and thank you for your trust in me supporting you. You did a fabulous job. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Beautiful. That was good tip. I'm going to look in my closet right now and figure out what color I need to wear now based on my mood, right? That's awesome. Thank you. One more thing I want to share about color is I have been really enjoying the spring of California now that I'm back. I've been doing a lot of walking in nature. I have been just the fragrance of the roses, the fragrance of the jasmine, every kind of herb, the mint, the peppermint, there's so much abundance of fragrances and beautiful colors that are really brightening my day as I go for the walk. So that would be another tip that really invite you to think about, especially stepping more into our feminine. You know, us leaders are constantly, there's so much work that we have to do, and we tend to work from the action space of the masculine, but to step into your feminine, being in nature, Mother Nature, and hugging trees and being with that is so beautiful. So thank you again, Katrina. All right, so let's go for the second two tips or tools I want to give you. Is number 3 is to get yourself out there. Right now, there's more than ever, there are virtual stages, platforms that you could share your message on. Obviously, one of them is here. You honor and support yourself and love yourself by saying yes to showing up. I invite you to reach out, not just to me, but also reach out to other platforms. I know many of you are on different platforms right now, and I see some of you different places. Go ahead and ask. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt for you to ask for, for others to want to speak on their platform, or, even if you do a Facebook Live in one group, or of course, Facebook Live in your own group, what else can you do? And also one of the things I invite you to do in order for you to show up. One of my secrets, I tell you, one of my secrets of me expanding the way I expanded, how I position myself as an expert, I literally get asked on a regular basis. I have 4 in May that I'm doing. 4 interviews, podcasts. I'm doing something called the Soul Story, end of May 31st. I'll promote it with you. Sharing a story about a family story, any opportunity there is for me to show up. But not only do I just show up on the call, I also honor the platform that they invited me, the people, the other leaders, by promoting it to my community. And that's something not a lot of us are doing right now, not a lot of you. I want you to really be mindful if you have been invited on a specific platform that you inspired others. There's 2 reasons. Number 1, dear leaders, is for you to honor the other person, just as they're promoting you on their platform, inviting you and honoring you. It is so nice to reciprocate and give that back. I ask actually of people to do that for me. I ask all of the people here to promote and put on their Facebook. it's like a reciprocation. You know, it's the giving and receiving type. There is no competition. It's about us coming together and supporting one another. If you have not done it yet, perhaps you could do it later. Like if you didn't do it prior, maybe you could do it later, right after. Like, thank you, Sahar, for inviting me and sharing this message. You know, here's the link to her, you know, Facebook Live. Like, promote others. Or to her group, Facebook group, promote others. If you are happy with whatever platform, whatever group, promote them to others. This is how we're going to expand, right? That's the first reason. The second reason is the most important one too. It's about you positioning yourself as an expert, that you are out there and speaking. I hear a lot of my colleagues or friends or clients that are speaking here, speaking there, and I love seeing that when you post it. I brag about platforms that you're speaking on. That's how people will know that you constantly are in demand. You constantly are in demand, and share it wherever you are. People always say, you're all over the place. Well, my team helps too. I don't do everything on my own. But like, I'm all over the place because I really want to position myself as an expert. And that's how I get people to ask me to participate on their stages. That's how my clients who I'm teaching this to do the same. Put yourself out there by asking. Number one. Number two, make sure that you honor the person that asked you. And number three, make sure you honor yourself by putting it out there and promoting yourself. Okay? And then number four, and then after number four, I have a gift, a beautiful gift for you. A dear friend of mine is gonna do something special. I'm not gonna share what it is, but number four is about claiming your message as a soulful messenger. And how you claim your message, again, ask the questions. Am I in the right place inside of me to share this message? Am I in my message frequency? Am I aligned with this message? And as I'm sharing this message, do I feel a sense of aliveness? Is it in alignment with who I am? Is this the message that I was born to share? And when I say message, there's not specific one message, but an overarching message. And there could be many messages in this overarching message. You have to share your voice. You have to be heard in order for people to know that you are here. And speaking of being heard, I'm gonna go ahead and welcome Jan, my beautiful, amazing friend, and also one of my mentors, Jan Jorgensen, to share her message with us today. And after that, we will conclude our call. I have a few more things I want to share, but let's go ahead and listen what Jan has to say. Go ahead, Jan.
Thank you, Sahar. I'm deeply touched to be here, particularly by the part where you say to be leaders that we need to move past our vulnerability. And it's our vulnerability that makes us have credibility and believability. So what I'm bringing today, and you have helped me focus and learn to embrace, I'm a specialist at voice release. Did you hear me say that?
Yes, I'm so proud of you, yay! Good student.
And I'll tell you why. My entire life, I was a singer, an educator, a nurse, but for 30 full years, I suffered from anxiety and panic. And I would sit back and say, oh my God, but I could say that better. So I kept moving ahead and I developed, I call it a scientific, spiritual way to release your voice. It's called voice release. And Sahar always cracks up and says, Jan, remember when you told me the manhole cover? And it really feels like a heavy metal thing. And it could be with authority, it could be with a group, and I still get butterflies. But I developed a very amazing simple process, and I call it the anti-freeze formula. And let me tell you how I developed this. Being a nurse and a singer, I started working with people that were dying. So it wasn't a win-ego situation. And as I was singing, I entered this state of grace. And I realized that the flow of service through me, and I've heard all of your voices today, and I'm an expert. I use computers to analyze your intentions, your ability to believe in yourself. Your voice is your calling card, and I've internalized these measurement systems within my own consciousness, and I am seeing in each of you a golden core and gifts, and I am here to voice release, to pop this off, because throughout our life we developed vibrational quagmires that make us not feel safe. But as the second Sahar said, this is the time now. It is a solo individual process to let this golden information pop this off through voice release, so we can be the bridge to the golden age that all philosophers have prophesied is coming. And this is the time. And it is your voice. And I'm so touched by this service today. And Sahar asked me to do some voice release. So we are going to do that. Okay, so you're going to sit up nice and straight so your spine can receive this vibrational unwinding of the fear. You are going to bring in a trust, a solid joy in letting this voice be released and letting this golden flow of your truth as what you're designed to bring through the Creator out into the world. And it is a vibrational process. Fear is a vibration and love is a vibration. So when your heart compass is on service, you are allowing this flow of love. Okay, so we're going to go through a very simple process here. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. We simply ask and intend to set a sacred space. We place a beautiful healing tent over our entire body. It is a geometric structure with matches and sings with all the truth and goodness in the universe. Even though we are all on mute, in a moment we are going to sound. And as we do, all the thick gold roots of weeds and fears of sounding and speaking our own divine truth are going to be blown off, and we are going to feel from our base chakra all of our energy be cleared and open, and our voice become a beautiful megaphone of pure, sparkly, divine light. Sahar, we appreciate this opportunity together. We are empowered when we come and work together in these ways. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. We ask and intend as we begin sounding that we release, dissolve, and refuse to be held back by fear any longer. We sound and move this energy until the core of our golden message is released out into the etheric grid, into the galaxy and the universe, and we are rebirthing a purified, healed earth through our voice and our leadership. So let's sound together. Om, a prayer. Let's lift our voices together for just a few moments now.
We're having a hard time hearing you, Jan.
Okay. Take another deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. Know that the simple process that we just went through in the etheric has cleared all of your fields for you to speak up and be heard confidently with joy. Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you. That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Thank you so much, my dear friend. Jan and I have known each other for over 10 years now, and she has actually is one of my earth teachers, right? You've helped me so much releasing the voice. People say, but you have a strong voice. Well, I had to do a lot of work. And Jan was one of the people that really helped me project my authentic voice to the world. So thank you, dear, for all the work that you've done for me and all the other people that have come across to you. Thank you. I love you. All right, so I want to honor our time. We have 3 more minutes. So there's one more thing that I'd love to share with each and every one of you today is that I do honor myself as a leader by providing more work for everybody who is called to do more work with me. I have been called to create an online program. I am still working and interviewing others that want to be in alignment with doing this work with me. And it's all about, as leaders, how can we show up? Pretty much what I've shared with you today. We're diving deep into the knowing of our message, the alignment of who we are, how we need to show up. There's going to be a lot of deep work that's going to be done together in this group, as well as there's going to be a lot of work that you'll be learning in new ways of showing up, experiences that I have been through as a leader, how I showed up, and as well as what I've been teaching my private clients. I have not done this work in a collective group virtually, but I'm called to do that. I'm not going to go deeper into what I am offering right now. It's just an invitation to have a conversation with me for those of you who are called to do so. An email will be sent out to all of you who are here and everybody who's ever participated, and just ask the question. If it's something that you're called to do with me, then we go into a next phase, which is an opportunity for you to have a conversation with you, an honest, heartful conversation of where you're at and how you want to show up as a leader, and tell you a little bit more about the program. And then we dive into the logistics together, and I will share with you the investment and everything that entails. When does it start? Sometimes mid-June or towards the end of June, depending. And it's going to be only maybe 12 to 15 people. I've served thousands of people, but this is going to be our first round. And so that's why I want to make sure that those who are called to do this are aligned with me. That's why I want to do the conversation with you, to make sure that we're all in alignment with each other, and for you to be in alignment with this program. More on that, I'll send you an email. And so that's what I'm called to do as a leader right here, right now. Again, I want to end by saying, whether you are brand new to our Soulful Leader community or a long-time Soulful member, I welcome you to our platform that provides you with resources and tools to be seen, to be heard, to transform yourself and to transform others, and in a supportive, soulful, and caring and loving community. I want to thank each and every one of you who shared their voices today through answering the questions earlier on. And I want to honor and thank each and every one of you who said yes to the opportunity to share your wisdom. Thank you, Sahar. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Katrina. And thank you, Jan, for your brilliance and your gifts. If you're interested, I will be sending an email again. Email me and I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you in regards to this. I'm going to go ahead and open the lines. It is 11:30, so I honor the time. But if there's anything that anybody would like to share or express, this is the opportunity for the next 5 minutes. Maybe we'll go into 5 minutes. If not, I thank you and honor you. And for those of you who are listening to the replay, I send you much love and thank you for doing that as well. If you have any questions or anything to share right now, just go ahead and raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to open the lines. And if not, I honor that as well. All right, I must have done a fabulous job then. Thank you, yay. Let's go ahead and unmute everyone. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Amazing, as usual.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you, Sahar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Very wonderful
Everyone
gift.
Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Thank you. Perfect
Both
timing.
Sahars.
Perfect timing.
Yay. Oh, I receive. Thank you, everybody. Until next time, mark your calendars, everyone. May 28th. Love to all.
Trina, nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Love.
Boom, 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 boom.